What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we got to talk about this. Stephen A. Smith is very upset with LeBron James, who had people from Klutch give him a phone call because, listen up, Stephen A. said that LeBron may want to stop Bronny from getting on the court. Now, a lot of them were clamoring for Bronny and Bron to have that moment before the season. And Stephen A. also talks about, how you can praise LeBron 99 times, but if you say one thing that he don't agree with that 100th time, he gets sensitive to it. We've seen him unfollow Kendrick Perkins. We saw the way he treated Rachel Nichols in the post game. People he was close with throughout his career, but bringing Bronny along, making comments like Bronny's already better than several of the players in the NBA, and then he gets there. Now you want him to be judged on a curved scale. You can't really do that because of the things you put out there first and foremost. So Stephen A is going to go in, and we're going to actually go back to what he said on First Take first. We're going to get Redick's comments after he brought him up, to Philly to guard Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey goes for 45 now. All those wasn't on Bronny, but a player like Tyrese Maxey, see Bronny in front of him, he's going to be hard for everybody to stop because he's going to catch such a rhythm in that short amount of time. A guy that can score in bunches like that, you're going to make it hard for everybody else, So, about to get into this clip or these clips, guys, just to see what Stephen A had to say. Let's peep.
Just felt like on a back-to-back, just him giving us energy, I think, was the goal. I maybe put him in a tough spot, flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game and Philly, all that stuff. It's, he didn't play well, but he's been playing great, in the Stay Ready games, and he's been playing great in the G. So I have confidence in him, but obviously didn't provide that at a high level.
LeBron James, as a father, stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. The first game of the season, opening night, the Griffeys in attendance, father-son duo playing in an NBA game for the first time, an absolutely positively wonderful story. And then reality sets in. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong. As you hone your skills and you get better and you legitimately earn, which I believe he has the potential to do, I am rooting for Bronny James. It would be cruel to root against him. He's a wonderful kid. I wish him nothing but the best. But he's LeBron James' son. And everybody knows what attention that brings. In 13 games, he has played 44 minutes. He has scored 4 points. He is shooting 1 of 16 from the field, 0 for 7 from three-point range. How are you doing him favors? On First Take, my day job on ESPN earlier this morning, and I spoke about this, and I felt the need to elaborate even further because a couple of people text me and pissed me off, and they know who they are. People close to LeBron James talking to me about questioning him as a father. Come on, y'all. I mean, it's got to a point where this LeBron sensitivity is just beyond the pale. You call him the second best player in the history of the game, you're insulting him because you said he's not the GOAT. You're saying that at age 40, we've never seen anybody do what he does, but pointing out at times how he may not have hustled back on defense in a key pivotal moment, and that's a problem. You give him all the praise in the world when he drops 40, but he has a bad night, and you say he had a bad night, and you're hating. It's ridiculous. But never before has it been more ridiculous than it is right now, because the reality is that we got to be real about what we're seeing when we talk about Bronny James. I am not a person that had a problem with Bronny James being on the court for the season opener with LeBron James. That was a phenomenal moment. to see a father on the court with his son who has NBA aspirations playing together for the first time in NBA history. The Griffeys in baseball, Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. were in attendance for it. It was a special moment. My position has always been that should have been the only moment we saw Bronny James in a Lakers uniform this season, because he's not ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be an NBA player. I'm not here to tell you that he should give up his dreams and his aspirations. I think the kid's got potential. I think the kid will be in the NBA one day. I watched him in the G League doing his thing. I think he's going to be fine eventually. But that's not the case yet. And because it's not the case yet, and then you see some of these numbers, I do find myself looking at LeBron James instead of Bronny James, because LeBron is the basketball savant. LeBron is one of the top 2 greatest players in the history of the game. LeBron has forgotten more basketball than most people would know. So no matter what we think about Bronny, he knows more. But you see what you see. Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career and 0 for 7 from three-point range. And he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game? Really? And everybody wants to look at it, and LeBron has nothing to do with that. He didn't tell J.J. Redick to put him in the game. I get all that. But come on. I'm not being cruel to Bronny. I'm looking out. Do you want it this way, LeBron? Do you want it this way, Rich Paul? Do you want it this way? He can't go into the G League and average 20, 25 and stay there until he's ready? Because he's LeBron's son, you know how they're going to judge him. And before anybody wants to jump on me, remember, I never saw Bronny James play until he showed up in the NBA and the G League. I refused to watch him because if I watched him, I would have to talk about him. And I didn't want to talk about LeBron James' son because I thought it was so unfair to the kid. He's such a wonderful kid. Wonderful family.
So Stephen A. Smith is going off on LeBron and Klutch Sports for always trying to call him to change his voice. And Stephen A. speaking out, it actually means a lot because you could see how media narratives are controlled by certain people. And if you're in the good graces, if you're even getting that interview with LeBron, you're saying everything he wants you to say about him, and you're ignoring or turning a blind eye to maybe some of his shortcomings. And I'm not saying that other people hasn't controlled the media. I'm just saying that, believe your eye when you watch it and leave it at that. Like, if you see something in the game or you see the game a certain way, trust your eye. Talk amongst people that you know aren't compromised when talking about the sport and what you see on the floor. I don't go too hard on Bronny because he's never been able to, let me put it like this. Most of us that you guys that are hear this video and like me, you've had the opportunity to go out there and fail at life. Some. But ever since Bronny's been a kid, LeBron has been making all the decisions for him. Where he went to school, daddy's pulling all the strings behind the scenes. And so just because you turn 18 don't mean you'll be able to make decisions if you've never been able to make them. And daddy has always taken care of everything. And I want to applaud LeBron for even being in a position, to make your son's life easier. Only thing with that is, as parents, we won't be here forever. So you do want to let your kids make a decision here or there as they're growing. You want them to be able to, especially decisions that they're going to have to sit with, and they're going to have to do it, over the course of time. A decision, whether it's consequential in a good or a bad way, you want them to be able to have to sit with that and figure that out and how to navigate the world around them based off that decision they made. And so Bronny is just doing what his dad said. I mean, for what they were saying, Bronny still lives at the house with LeBron when they home. You know what I'm saying? He didn't move out when he turned eight or when he went, to USC or to the NBA. He's been living there. So I don't know, man. For me, if I was doing journalism and different things like that, I wouldn't want to be compromised to where I have to say exactly what the celebrity or the star player wants me to say all the time. We would never have a good relationship. I'm just not made like that, to even go with the crowd or to say what's popular to say. I'm going to say something a little different. I might get side eyed a little bit, but if I feel a little different than everybody else, I'm not just going to say what they want me to say to get along with everybody. I'm going to say the real. I'm not just a contrarian for no reason, but if I genuinely feel different, hey, it is what it is. And Stephen A. Smith has voiced this about LeBron. He said Jay-Z called him when he put, Taylor Swift over Beyonce, and he was more receptive to that conversation. But I wouldn't have been receptive to that one either, if that's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care if you're calling me as this person sitting on a high mountain. I'm just gonna talk to you like a regular person, and we probably ain't gonna get too far in the conversation if you come in trying to change my mind in an aggressive way. That just ain't gonna work for me. But yeah, man, Stephen A went in. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.